Josue, the Hoss Boss Oliva here, and today we're going to be starting our reviews which focus mostly on video game bosses. Here to help me today is Priska.
Hi!
So,
Today we're going to be reviewing the game Viewtiful Joe that Josh Bus been playing, and then we'll go from there.
yes, we will go from there, and hopefully this is the first of many reviews, so we'll see you guys in a bit.
Adios!
Alright. Viewtiful Joe.
Oh, me?
Was released on the Gamecube initially as part of the Capcom 5. It was a series of games made by old-time buddies over at Capcom that previously had commercial success with early Nintendo titles such as Mega Man on the console.
Unfortunately, all the early releases of the series were not as well received as everyone was hoping. The biggest success out of those 5 games turned out to be Resident Evil 4, which was the only one that stayed as a GameCube exclusive, the rest being ported over to the PS2, further undercutting the GameCube profits.
This game, however, was able to get a few spin-offs and even get an animated series out of it, so there must be something good in there, right?
Ah, your hero-ness has awakened. Now the Village is responding to your hero instincts deep down inside.
The story opens up with...
Oh, I know.
You do?
Yeah, it's the guy that does a thing that's based on the movie.
No,
right?
no, they go into a movie.
Wait, isn't that what I said?
No, it's not.
Cut!
The game opens up with Joe and his girlfriend Sylvia in a movie theater during one of those let's play the old movies and try to get some money marathons. And while Joe is totally into the movie, his girlfriend is totally into him and wants to have
Off-screen action.
Sounds like someone else who's oblivious.
Huh?
Nothing. Anyway, Sylvia gets kidnapped and then Joe gets thrown into the action. He then gets told that he will be the new action hero that this world needs and is given a V watch to do so.
I always wanted to try one on.
This game has a couple of different looks to it. Firstly, when you are in human mode, you see the world through a grainy looking film screen. Only once you've donned the superhero persona do you see the world as vividly as it should be. The game narrator feels like the narrator out of all those old-timey films and sets the mood appropriately.
Where could Sylvia be? Is she safe? Is she even alive? Intolerable anxiety tears at Joe's heart. What did they do to her?
What would be a good hero name for me?
They make each level feel like it's a chapter in a big action movie, which is pretty darn cool.
The robot enemies also depend heavily on the way the game functions. They change appearance as they become more difficult. The glowing enemies meaning they are invulnerable to your regular attacks.
The game reminds you that you're inside of a movie whenever you return to your human form. It also likes to name the chapters of each level with titles that sound like movies themselves. The levels usually lead up to a boss and boss room that match the tone of the location you've been heading to throughout the duration of the level you were in. This game is an action 2D platformer with 3D models. At the beginning of the game, you are given a quick tutorial as to how to dodge attacks and the basics of fighting. After you unlock your inner hero, you are able to transform into a superhero by saying,
Head to the go-go, baby! You want some? We'll come and get it.
After unlocking superhero mode, you gain access to beautiful effects that allow you to slow down, speed up, and zoom in, all of which let Joe do special moves and have their own special purposes. You can even combine them in order to make them even more powerful.
Just make sure to collect the film reels. At the start of each level, you start with the bare minimum VFX bar, and by collecting all of them, you can use the full bar, giving you more time to kick butt.
You also need them to solve certain puzzles. Some of the puzzles are simply required to move past a section. Then there are boxes in the background which you need the speed up effect to break the boxes open and get the hidden goodies inside of it. One of the more forced puzzles are after the Joker mini bosses, which you need your powers in order to hit that jackpot.
Each time you enter an area, you will be given an objective. It could be kill the enemies, complete a puzzle, or find the key to a door. You will then receive a grade based off of how well you did, which contributes to your end grade and how much money you earn, measured in V points.
Speaking of V points, this is how you're able to upgrade Joe. You're able to buy upgrades that start with refilling your health or getting items to use against enemies, to permanent upgrades to Joe's fighting style, VFX upgrades, and additional health. These get pretty expensive, so try to go for those beautiful ratings, folks. Dark Fiend Charles III. He is the first boss you encounter, and he is quite an easy fight. He looks like a man-bat and acts like a vampire, chilling in a coffin until you punch it open. He flies around a lot and uses a screw attack around the map. The easiest method is to wait for him to bring down the stalactites, and then use your slow-mo power to knock them into him. Then just go ahead and lay into him. Wash, rinse, and repeat.
Next up is Iron Ogre Hulk Davidson, a rhino dino looking guy with a thing for Harleys. He brags about the fact that he gave Captain Blue his signature scar and comes to the battle ready for action. He swings around a huge axe and goes for a headlong charge if you keep dodging his swings. You also need to be careful of his axe throw, napalm attacks, and missile launcher that he uses. Once you get the swing of it through, you'll be ready to tear him a new one and go on to the next guy.
After that, you go after the Aquatic Terror Grand Bruce, who is a straight up dummy. He also... wait, what?
What happened?
He's also the leader of the Jado's intelligence agency. Geez, no wonder these guys are hopeless. Regardless, he goes after you with a bite attack that you need to wiggle that control stick vigorously for in order to get away. Just dodge him until he runs out of breath and then beat him to a pulp. If he fills the map with water, just be patient and wait until he releases the mines. Stand with one in between you and him and let him chomp down on that explosive treat. Then punch it while it's in his mouth and watch him get blasted by the bomb and your fists in slow-mo.
Make sure when he is chasing you to not let him catch his breath underwater. Doing this will allow him to recover his health and can keep this fight going for far too long.
Then we got another Joe. You know, we always need a dark version of our heroes. With this guy, he seems to be a beefed up version of our hero. He's able to summon the 6 machine to attack you and can send Joe copies to hit you for major damage. The only way to avoid getting attacked by them is to go slow-mo, get zoomed in, and then kick like a maniac. Or punch the Nega Joe while he is setting up the clones.
Finding yourself low on health during this fight? The 6 machine has a delicious hamburger inside of it. Just make sure not to use slow-mo around it. It'll make the attack stronger and cancel out the point of hunting it down.
In the next zone, we got Alistor, who is no wimp. He uses a bunch of lightning attacks on Joe and is also pretty darn fast. He also likes to use these electric rocks that can put you in a pretty bad position. With this guy, just knock him into the fire, then hit him again once he throws himself into the water. From there, just keep trying to knock him into the fire. Don't give this guy a chance to fight back. Trust me, you don't want to see what he can do.
Next up, we got Infernal Lord...
Up!
What?
Not yet. First, we have a boss rush.
Oh, right. The next level is just a straight up boss rush. you need to refight Discount Dracula, Shrek the Second, Left Shark, and Stunt Double Joe all over again. Except this time they are stronger, faster, and have more health. And the only VFX reels are in the fighting section, so stay on your toes.
None of those names were right.
Then after you get to fight Infernal Lord Fire Leo, he runs around the map kicking up fire meteors at you the whole time. Beat one of the rocks at max speed to get fired up and immune to his hot attacks. Then go in for the assault. Once you break his shield, he will begin to spin and attack. Use slow-mo to time the attacks properly, and once he's dizzy, you know what to do. Just make sure not to accidentally knock him in the lava, or he'll get all fired up again and you need to sit through another circle of his attack pattern.
Now for the final boss. In this, you have to fight against the Blue King in your mecha 6 Majin. Now is this fight a pain? He has several attacks that do 2 points of damage each time they hit. Not only that, but they take up a big area and you need to be standing in just the right spot in order to avoid the attack altogether. Now when King Blue is in the foreground, you need to hit him with all you've got and back out of there before he has a chance to counterattack you. This fight will take all of your gaming prowess to make it through and ready for part 2.
Finally, you have to go up against Captain Blue for real this time. He uses strong attacks and fights similarly to the training modes. However, now he uses the VFX also and can be quite tough, and his electric attacks can hit you even in slow-mo. Be careful though, if you lose to him, you have to start over fighting King Blue.
After defeating the final boss, you find out that Blue was Sylvia's father who went missing and got sucked into Movie Land. He then says that the world will be in trouble at least twice more and a hero must rise up each time in order to stop that threat. At this point, Sylvia asks for a V-Watch to help fight the threat also.
Upon beating the game in adult difficulty, you gain V-rated, which is harder mode of play, and get a music video of Joe rapping with Alistair. You also unlock the ability to start a new game as Sylvia, who plays a little bit different from Joe. Upon defeating harder modes of the game, you unlock Alistair and then Captain Blue himself.
All in all, Viewtiful Joe was a really fun game to play, and after completing the game on different difficulty settings, you could unlock gameplay such as Sylvia, Alistair, and Captain Blue himself, and they all play a little bit differently, but honestly, you don't playing as the different characters doesn't really add much to the game, and it just goes through all the same scenarios just with slight variations to it, so I wouldn't recommend playing through it again unless you really just want to go for that completionist type run.
Right, and playing as Sylvia is kind of odd. I don't know if any of you played the game, but there's some kind of Sylvia action going on. Which is really weird. So if you do decide to play the game again, being Sylvia, just beware. Things are gonna get a little crazy and a little weird.
Besides that, the bosses were a lot of fun to fight, and the game really did have a lot of character to it, and it was a lot of fun to play. So I would suggest picking it up and giving it a shot. So until next time, guys, have fun, play your games. Have fun, play your games, and peace out. Bye.
So, if you want to watch more of Haas Boss's videos, because it's not just Boss, okay? Apparently, I had to take a lesson on how to pronounce his name, okay? So, you can click on the side for some of his other gameplays, or you can click on this side for some of the sim video gameplays. Or you can just go ahead and look for some of his media. He does have a Twitch at the moment, so you can go ahead and find that somewhere here below so you can watch some of his streams.